I think that a lot of people who want to write picture books forget that they're really a read aloud art form. I mean, because they are for young children who theoretically cannot read yet, and so they're more like theater and or poetry to me than just straight out writing. And a lot of times I feel like the people who are like, I'm looking for something that has rhythm and has it's you wouldn't be bored reading it multiple times because the language is so fun. Yeah, I really think that the reason people have asked me how did I learn how to be an editor, or how did I was I trained? And I really think that the reason why I know anything about it is because I was read aloud to a whole lot when I was young, and I can really still remember, I mean, the places where I was read to and the voices. And like my grandfather had this bizarrely yellow velvet chair they had in their living room, and we would sit there and we both fit in it, and he would read aloud to me, and I can remember the light reflecting off of his glasses, and my mom's voice I can especially hear. And I had this babysitter, Mrs. Clark, and she would read aloud, bring her own books that were books that we didn't have, and it was kind of like, I didn't really like it when my parents went out, my sister and I, but we did when Mrs. Clark came because she was such a fabulous reader. And One Morning in Maine was one of the books that she always read to us. My parents and my aunt gave me a lot of books that were edited by, of all people, Ursula Nordstrom, the great Harper editor. So I kind of feel like I was trained by Ursula Nordstrom because many of the picture books, and then as I got older, like the E.B. White books and the Little House books were just kind of my bread and butter. You know, I mean, not really. I think a few times toyed with the idea of thinking I was maybe had that skill, but I really don't at all, in fact. So maybe that's a good thing for. I guess I respect it so much because I think it's very hard. I have to do a lot of writing in my job, but it's different writing. I mean, I like flap copy and editorial letters and uh, and those kinds of puzzles I love. But just taking something from thin air like authors and illustrators have to do, there's no way I could do that. You know, I've been doing it so long, I can almost tell, this sounds a little obnoxious, but it's really true. Like, I can almost tell from the cover letter if I'm going to be interested in, because people just tend to kind of go on and on. And those are the ones where I realize, okay, no, you're not really a picture book writer. And then, so, I mean, you just kind of like, you can tell from the beginning, there's so many, like I said before, there's so many people who don't seem to get what the voice is for a picture book, that it's just really prosy, really descriptive, and more like if you're like something stolen from the middle of a bad middle grade novel, like a chapter, as opposed to what a picture book is with the rhythm and the shape of the language. I feel like what I'm what I'm doing as an editor, I think, like when I'm looking for new books to buy, and when I'm kind of like at my best of why would I want to publish this book, I do think I'm really accessing the privilege of being able to be in the moment when a child is being able to experience a book being read aloud, and that spell that's cast around the one adult and one child and or multiple kids. I just think that there is something. I mean, it's a little melodramatic to say, but I do think there's something kind of holy about that, and that's sort of at the core of what inspires me the most about being a children's book editor.